What do the Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic all have in common? These are not just names of colossal vessels, but they are the embodiment of human ambition, innovation, and, unfortunately, tragedy. They are the three sisters, part of the Olympic-class ocean liners, built by the esteemed White Star Line in the early 20th century. These were not just ships, they were floating palaces. At a time when sea travel was the epitome of luxury and adventure, these ocean liners were designed to be the most extravagant and technologically advanced vessels of their time. They were symbols of human progress, a testament to what we could achieve. The first of the trio, the Olympic, was a marvel of modern engineering. Launched in 1910, it was a beacon of luxury and opulence. It was the largest civilian liner of its time and quickly earned the nickname Old Reliable for its dependable service. Then came the Titanic, a name that would become synonymous with disaster. Built with the same grandeur as its predecessor, the Titanic promised to be unsinkable. Yet it met a tragic end on its maiden voyage in 1912, becoming a stark reminder of the limits of human ambition. The last of the trio, the Britannic, had a fate no less dramatic. Initially intended to surpass its predecessors in luxury, it was repurposed as a hospital ship during World War I. It too met an early demise, sinking in the Aegean Sea after an unexplained explosion. These three sisters, each unique yet bound by a shared heritage, were the titans of the seas. They represented the pinnacle of luxury sea travel during a time when the world was rapidly changing. Their stories, filled with grandeur, ambition, and tragedy, encapsulate a pivotal period in maritime history. So what do the Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic all have in common? They were the epitome of human ambition and technological advancement of their time. They were the titans of the seas, the floating palaces that captured the world's imagination. Each of these ships has a unique story that has left an indelible mark on maritime history. The Olympic, often overshadowed by her more famous sisters, was the first of its kind. A marvel of maritime technology, the Olympic was the lead ship of the illustrious White Star Line's Olympic-class trio, which included the infamous Titanic and the Britannic. The construction of the Olympic was a feat in itself. In the late 19th century, shipbuilding was evolving at a remarkable pace, and the Olympic was at the forefront. Crafted by skilled workers from the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, this colossal vessel was designed to outclass her rivals in terms of size, speed, and luxury. Setting sail in June of 1911, the Olympic embarked on her maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City. The journey was a grand success, marking the beginning of a prosperous career that spanned over 2 decades. With her state-of-the-art technology and opulent interiors, the Olympic quickly became a symbol of the golden age of transatlantic travel. The design and success of the Olympic served as a blueprint for her sister ships, the Titanic and the Britannic. The lessons learned from her construction and operation undoubtedly influenced the design of these later vessels, shaping the future of maritime engineering and luxury travel. Despite its less dramatic history, the Olympic was a pioneer in maritime technology and luxury. Her legacy, although often overlooked, is an integral part of the fascinating story of the White Star Line's Olympic-class trio. The Titanic, a name synonymous with tragedy and grandeur. In the golden age of transatlantic steamship travel, the Titanic was a marvel of engineering and luxury. She was the largest ship of her time, a floating palace designed to ferry her passengers across the Atlantic in unparalleled comfort and style. Yet her maiden voyage in April of 1912 would also be her last. The Titanic's journey was marked by a series of unfortunate circumstances. Despite being equipped with the latest navigational technology, the ship's crew failed to heed iceberg warnings. On the night of April 14th, under a moonless sky, the Titanic struck an iceberg. The collision caused the ship's hull plates to buckle inwards along her starboard side, opening 5 of her 16 watertight compartments to the sea. In less than 3 hours, the Titanic, the so-called unsinkable ship, foundered and sank beneath the icy waves of the North Atlantic. Over 1,500 lives were lost, marking one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history. The sinking of the Titanic had far-reaching effects. It led to significant changes in maritime regulations, including mandatory lifeboat requirements and regular safety drills. The tragedy highlighted the hubris of mankind, the misplaced faith in technology, and the stark divide between the haves and the have-nots. The Titanic's tale, however, extends far beyond her tragic end. She has entered into the realm of legend, a cultural icon that continues to capture the public's imagination. The ship's story has inspired countless books, films, and exhibitions, each exploring different aspects of her ill-fated journey. Her opulence, the stories of those aboard, and the tragedy of her demise all contribute to the enduring fascination with the Titanic. She serves as a stark reminder of the power and unpredictability of nature, the fallibility of human judgment, and the transience of life itself. The Titanic, a symbol of human ambition and tragedy, continues to captivate us a century later. Finally, the Britannic, the forgotten sister of the trio. The third and last of the Olympic-class ocean liners, Britannic is often eclipsed by the fame and tragedy of her older sisters. But she has a tale of her own that's just as riveting. Built by the White Star Line, the Britannic was launched in 1914, just before the outbreak of World War I. Her commercial career was put on hold as she was repurposed as a hospital ship, a floating sanctuary for the wounded and sick. She was painted white with large red crosses, a far cry from her intended opulent black and white. Sailing through the treacherous waters of the war-torn Aegean Sea, she was a beacon of hope for many. However, fate had a different plan. In November 1916, an unexplained explosion rocked the Britannic, and she sank in less than an hour, faster than the Titanic. Thanks to life-saving lessons learned from the Titanic disaster, the majority of the people on board survived. Her sinking, while tragic, does not hold the same level of infamy as the Titanic's. Perhaps it's because the war overshadowed her demise, or maybe it's because her story is not as steeped in luxury and hubris. But regardless of the reasons, the Britannic, often overlooked, has a story just as intriguing and poignant. So, what can we learn from these three giants of the sea? From the pioneering Olympic, the tragic Titanic, to the often overlooked Britannic, these ships have inked indelible marks on maritime history. Their shared lineage and individual narratives remind us of humanity's relentless pursuit for progress, the inevitable risks of innovation, and the power of resilience. The lessons they offer extend beyond their steel hulls and into the depths of our shared human experience. The Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic, each with their own tale, continue to sail on in our collective memory.